What is up, everyone? I hope you can hear me. Welcome to another live stream. This is show me your favorite altcoins on Pulse Chain. Firstly, you need to be aware that I'm not a financial advisor. You need to listen to me at your own risk. Everything sounds great. Thanks for the comments. So yeah, exciting times in the Pulse Chain ecosystem. Meme coins, Pulse Chain pumping, Pulse X pumping. Everyone thought it was dead. Itropa ecosystem pulling back a little bit. The FOMC meeting today looks like the Fed will pause. You've got a 99% chance here that the Fed will pause. This is bearish for currency, so it's good for the risk assets, and crypto being risk assets. We will catch a bid, expecting extreme volatility during this event. This is happening in about 6 hours time. A little bit of a macro, but it's important for us to know that this will have an impact on us. The Federal Reserve doesn't like to scare the market or surprise the market, so it's pretty much 100% chance that they will pause. Inflation is up though. Oil is extremely expensive. It's peaked out, probably peaked out here at 92. It could go higher. The dollar is incredibly strong, so all of that is putting pressure on the stock market, also on, but Bitcoin's kind of shrugging it off, just chilling. Reverse repo, this is the amount of money that is leaving the Fed, and this is just dropping off a cliff. And these mark exact bottoms in the stock market, giving Bitcoin and crypto also a nice bid. So Richard Hart tweeted recently, many people speculated that he is indicating that the bottom might be in. I'm sure all of you have heard those rumors. So let's jump into the charts. So firstly, Pulse Chain, our native coin that we are accumulating while we're trading our altcoins and our meme coins. You can see this beautiful little W that we have now broken out of. There's the W breakout level. You can see the W over here. You always want the second V to be slanted to the upside, so that would mean it's higher than the previous V down here. That is a valid W. This is your breakout candle here now. We want this to confirm up here. That would mean to continue to close above this level. It's fine if we retest it a few times. On the shorter time frames, it does look like it wants to retest this area for a little bit, maybe for the next day. So we're just going to remove some of these lines. On the daily, not really oversold just yet. There are bearish divergences from here, but we're not going to call any reversal from that. We're going to wait for oversold areas and a breakdown below these levels for us to be maybe take a small percentage of our pulse bag off the table if we are interested in trading. Trading is exceptionally dangerous. You need to know what you're doing before you're entering. You need to know where you're taking profits before the time and where you're going to be exiting if you're wrong. So something like this, your measured move for this breakout level, this is just something fun. And we'll get to all your meme coins. Do leave your suggestions in the chat so I can know what you guys want to look for. I've got Twitter up here as well for the comments in the Twitter on the thread. So you move it up all the way to the measured move. Our measured move is all the way at 6.5k, interestingly enough. And then we move this to a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So that's our 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. If the chart breaks below 3676, we would be wrong and we would lose 20% of the amount that we put in. That would mean you need to risk a very small percent of your portfolio, so you don't lose more than 5% of your trading portfolio on this. You don't trade with your full portfolio, only a small trading if you are going to trade. And if you don't know these kinds of things and you don't know what risk management is, you don't even mind. Just hodl your bag on cold storage and chill. So yeah, there's different ways of doing these things. There is the granny style, which she would just buy her altcoins and she would just wait and sit till she gets a double, sell half, and wait for 61% retracements and get back into the market. So Pulse Chain looks good. We've been talking about these areas that it looks quite nice. We've got higher lows. We've now got a higher high, so the trend has changed. We are currently in an uptrend. Let's see where this closes. Hopefully we can keep above this level. There's still a lot of room on the RSI to move higher. No divergences in the short term to speak of. So yeah, it does look good, except if we get a surprise on the FOMC meeting and they raise rates and Bitcoin crashes or something like that. But highly doubt that that would happen. Okay, let's see who's in the chat. Yeah, I've finally got the YouTube and OBS figured out again. What's up, Dewey Scum? I chose to show WePulse. We can look at WePulse, WePulse X, an awesome dev and a great community, says Z. Yeah, the whole ecosystem is popping off. It looks really, really good. We can look at PLD also. This is the Pur Pleb and the 9-inch guys working together there. What's up, Dewey? DeFi DAO Anandar. That's Tangent and the Aussies channel. Thanks. Yeah, we will look at Granny as well. A nice little putback. Dewey says she's not trading any of it, Granny. Hey man, nice stream. TW01. It's a pleasure. I'm glad you all enjoy it. That's why we check it out. 9mm, please. Is there a, Raymond, is there a coin already released? I know they have their NFTs released, but I'm not sure if there's a coin just yet. Maybe I'm not yet. Okay. Yeah, get those likes up. If you do like these kinds of streams, do click the like button, subscribe for more. Okay, so I mean, this looks good. Let's go to Pulse X, and then we can get into the other altcoins. Performing pretty well. You have a nice little W down here, but not the prettiest one. But it is valid on the candle bars, the candlesticks. A low, a higher high, a low, a high, a higher low, and then a blast off. It really just went. You really didn't have a chance for this to show you that it wanted to go. Let's quickly take a glance at the RSI. I mean, it looks a lot like Pulse, right? Not really in the extreme sold or extreme bought areas. It's chilling just above the 55.69. No real divergences to speak of. Except if we start going back to these levels up here. Okay. Let's cover EX quickly. Also just Wing out here, higher lows. 3 higher lows already. This is just a matter of time before it looks like it wants to break out. Hex on Pulse Chain at just below a cent. This is the weekly chart. We'll go down to the daily. Once again, nice market structure, higher lows. This is not yet a higher high, but on the shorter time frame in this area it is. We need it to break above this level. RSI chilling at 55. Not really anything to write home about. Let's look at Hex versus Ethereum, excuse me. This is the Ikumoku cloud. A little bit complex, but a nice little W here, 4 higher lows or 3 higher lows. We're ignoring that wick down here, and we're still below the Kenjin, which is the faster moving average. Nothing really changing here just yet. All looks good. Now incentive token. A nice little W here. This is a breakout. This is a change of trend as we have finally do have a higher high. Lots of divergence since we're down here. As price went lower, yet the indicator went higher. It's now confirmed. So this is the nice play out getting here. I know there's a lot of people that are happy about that. EX is bleeding low versus Pulse today. Let's quickly take a look at that. It's EX. Yeah, everything is up a lot, and Hex is kind of, yeah, this is not pretty, right? It's the opposite of W's. If we invert this, it would look very bullish. Like that's what you want to see on the upside, but not on the downside. But pretty depressed at the moment already. If you just invert this again, let's see if there are any divergences. No real divergences to speak of. Either way, eventually Hex will catch its day. I still like it quite a lot. Okay, let's get to the coins that are suggested on Twitter. Then we'll quickly go through your suggestions in the chat. Okay. There is a request for A1A. I think it's been featured previously on the stream. This is the nosebleed section, right? We can't be interested up here. This is still going up higher. Pretty close to the reload zone, but not just yet. It is still a little bit expensive up here. And it is in a large volume node here, catching some support, so you can see these wicks. But if this fails, look down below, right? This is going to be scary. You'd probably need to wait for this to create some structure here, some higher lows, and maybe a breakout before it's safe to get in. And hopefully that happens inside of the reload zone. So you comply with two of your rules. Firstly, location. Location is between the 61.8 and the 78.6 level. Those are just percentages from the upside, 61% down from the upside and 78% down from the top. Wait for higher lows here to be safe. A granny can catch these falling knives at these levels, but she would expect to see lower prices and have more, and then she needs to manage her risk as well. So if you do want to learn how these things work, do check out the links in the description down below. Message me on Telegram if you want to get a 50% discount in crypto. So yeah, A1A, little bit expensive, getting back into value, nice retracement. Hopefully you took some profits up here. It looks like it wants to come down a little bit more. Let's cover the Itropa ecosystem. As the Itropa guys are a bit in disbelief that a coin can actually pull back. Nice little bounce. I think it went as low as the reload zone. This is Teddy Bear. It did get into the reload zone, and if the granny was willing to catch these falling knives, she would be up a nice percentage. Maybe she even got a double. No, just a 41%. This was a perfect double top. You can see the high was here and it failed to get above that level. Remember when I said in my previous, the guys were saying, yeah, you said it was going down, but the price was up. And I said yes, but I thought I was still correct, that the top was in here. And I said that you need to defeat this high up here, and you failed to defeat it, and it's now coming down. If we look at the RSI, and I'm going to switch to Rapid Pulse because we want to look at these things versus Rapid Pulse, right? And it's a total different story. You're just barely bounce. I mean, not barely, like this is a good enough bounce. Like if you close this candle here, I mean, that's a 62% bounce, not bad. But you came right into the reload zone if you were catching a falling knife at the 61.8 like a granny can, but expecting it to go lower, right? A nice little bounce. Most of the volume was traded here at 0.0001. Won't be surprised if that area gets hit. This has been drawn here for a while. There's also some confluence with previous candles in this area. If we put on the log chart, you can see that it traded here for a few days before continuing its uptrend. The RSI is breaking down aggressively. You've confirmed this M here, so we do have a measured move. I'm scared to look at this because that, yeah, not valid. Quite a aggressive consolidation here, and now a breakdown, excuse me. I would wait for the 78.6 level. I might actually just put my alert here. Now my notifications aren't enabled. I'll do that a little bit later. But a large volume node in this area. Let's just remove the volume. Yeah, let this get a little bit oversold. Like it was at the extreme overbought areas or extreme bought areas. Let this get to the extreme sold areas. Let people forget about this. There's still too many people talking about this, and people are buying the bounces. You do have lower highs or lower lows, excuse me. So that is a downtrend, lower lows and lower highs. And until the trend does not change, there's probably going to be continued to be pretty volatile. Wait for something like this, right? And the longer you consolidate at these levels, the better your next move to the upside will be. So that is Teddy Bear. Let's look at DAI and iTropa. Down 24% on the day. DAI does not look that strong as Teddy, 50, 47, 48. So there is hidden bullish divergence here, but like I always say, that is a weaker divergence, not enough to reverse the price. That's the word I'm looking for. Let's just pull this area. And you're bouncing off of the reload zone, 61% down from the uptrend. You can see how powerful this level is. You can see how it acted as resistance previously, found support on it, broke up before this was even established, right? We're now in that area again. And let's do a volume analysis to see how low this can go. So almost got it to the high volume node. I would expect it to come into this area down here, chill, create some higher lows, and that's your signal to go long when it creates a higher high. That would be a change of trend and a confirmation to go long. Hopefully you took some profits up here. I know everybody didn't believe that this coin could go down, but let me tell you how markets work. They go up and they go down. Nothing can go up forever. Does not work like that. Let's look at iTropa versus a rapid pulse. These all look quite the same, and if you're exposed to the other coins, you're wrecked even more because they look like rug pulls. Okay, iTropa holding on to the 61.8 of the golden ratio, once again showing the magnificent strength that it has. We can look at where the volume was traded. You're at the 50%. There is a lot lower to go, more momentum. And that's what you want to see if you're interested in getting this. You wanted to get into the extreme sold areas. That's where people are rage quitting. And when they start getting silent on Twitter, that's when you should be interested in this if you are still convicted by this protocol. Wait for your higher lows, that is your indication to go long. Right there. So yeah, they also want to look at TSFI. Down 37%, so lots of money getting flushed here. We'll just pull this to the all-time high, just below the golden ratio. You can see my marked areas up here. We have to move this a little bit forward because it went a little bit higher. But still most of the volume was traded here. You're inside of or just below a large volume node. And when you lose this large volume node, do not be surprised if it comes all the way into these areas. This is your breakout level. We marked this previously. This is where you should be interested in this. RSI only at the 50%. There's a lot more momentum to the downside. You really didn't find any support on the golden ratio. pretty sure if we go to smaller time frames, you'll see, I mean, it even just fell through there. So it all looks pretty weak, and it's going to be a compounding effect as people rage about the downtrend and try and save some capital. This is where they will be selling, where they should have been taking profits at the highs or selling doubles at the top. I was pretty hated when I told everybody not to chase these things, but I'm looking pretty on point now when these things are all down 61% from its tops. And if you took profits, you could have been reloading at these levels down here. Look at Inc versus PLS. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's look at Inc versus PLS quickly. Should have done all of that versus PLS because we want more PLS. Still bleeding. It looks terrible. And you've got a low here. If this wants to start getting bullish, we need a higher low and a long consolidation, frankly, for me to even think about getting some here. No bullish divergences down here. Maybe we can make a lower low and create a higher low here. That would be bullish divergence for a reversal. So it doesn't look great. Yeah, let's look at Granny for you guys. Granny over here. Go check out my most recent post. So we can see the reload zone down here. My Twitter post, it actually came down exactly to the reload zone. Let's just pull it up here. You can see it dabbled in here a few times. Now this is the 15-minute chart, very short term, not suggested to look at time frames this short. But either way, it worked out. You're creating your higher lows and off you go, new all-time highs. So this was the reload zone here. And the market respected it. And off you went. So if you were a granny and you were selling all the way up here, you could have reloaded and taken it up again. Now this is our new reload zone. We are still above it, coming down. No divergences really. We should look at pulse, excuse me guys. But it will look very much the same as pulse has been going up and staying pretty flat. 39, 13, 39, 21. So this is higher. So there is hidden bullish divergence here from this area as price is going lower. Yet the indicators are higher, but once again, it's not enough to reverse the price. If you were interested in this, you might want to wait for the reload zone. Maybe it just pops its tails in this reload zone again. Wait for higher lows. You can see we had higher lows here, although it wasn't in location. We can then look at where most of the volume was traded from the start to the peak. And we are exactly at that moment. So do not be surprised if you actually start getting some buys here. And as we're speaking, there are buys coming in now. So yeah, there are definitely opportunities in the market, as many of the coins that performed really well are getting into the reload zones. And the believers will step in here and defend their prices. Doesn't mean it can't go lower. But you know where your areas of value is. And the granny, she does not mind sitting underwater because she risks a very small percentage on each coin. And there we go. So not really much more to say. We can look at the 1 hourly. It's chilling like at the 50% area. Do join the Telegram if you're interested in this coin and the funny chat. Lol Hans, imagine that people are probably aping PLS. Does look like it. Can we look at PLD? Yes. Now for Pulse Doge, up 129%. That's respectable. This is the daily chart. Massive wick. I don't like that. You had a beautiful little W down here. This higher high over here was your indication to go long at the 3000 level. It was enough to even give you your double and a triple. No, not a triple. But you would have gotten a free position here. Now retracing. I might be speculating, but there's definitely insiders that know that the 9-inch protocol is probably very close to launching, because Poor Pleb itself is also pumping with massive rejection candles. Oof, it went all the way to the all-time high into oversold. This is not where value is at, right? You need to wait for this to get down into the reload zone. And frankly, I will wait for, if I was interested in this, I will wait for the retest of this breakout level. And we can do a full range volume analysis, and most of the volume was traded at this 100 PLD per pulse area. So if it holds there, good, then the next target is your breakout level. And hopefully it holds there, otherwise it's going to come to this little W down here. You can see how it acted as a support or resistance and then found support here and broke out. Then Poor Pleb also caught a bid. It just literally stopped before my double. My double was at 14, right at this level. So it stopped, it literally stopped right in front of my double. Mine was at 14, my first double on this coin. I initially bought in back here, gave the signal in the granny channel. Yeah, this is what I was looking for, but this was the W. It broke out, but didn't hold support here. So we need to move that up here. Value is down here. This has left the station. Yeah, so someone's got inside knowledge about a probable launch. I am speculating now, and that's what I think maybe. Maybe someone has insider knowledge. That was Poor Pleb. Let's look at PayPay PLS. Grab the granny. Let's look at PayPay for you. Yeah, I didn't sleep at all yesterday, so I'm sorry if I sound very chill and very tired. This is not the right PayPay. Here we go. Let's switch to rapid pulse, because we want more pulse, right? Oof. I mean, we tried to break out and it just slammed back down. Could you have gotten a double here all the way to 6? No. So even if you took this breakout level, but I was concerned about this little wick here, because if this wick was higher than this one back here, I would have been much more positive, but this was a new lower low. So a massive launch off this level, that's a V bottom, and markets don't like V bottoms. They'll come back to retest these levels. You've now retested it, launching, trying to break out again, but it's just ranging in this level very slowly. Eventually it will get its day. It is inside all of the reload zones. It is inside of the point of control, which is where all of the volume was traded. If we do a fib retracement tool, we are still inside of the reload zone. In fact, we're below it, which is still fine. Yeah, and I can't fault the little old lady for getting a little bit here. Very small percentage of her overall portfolio, obviously. And selling halves on doubles when she gets her doubles in PLS, and then free positions in this coin and pulse in the bag. There are bullish divergences on OBV, so people are interested in this. Still accumulating. Liquidity 6.3, volume is almost double that. Let's look at 2CC for draft. This is another Itropa coin. These looks like love to know what this guy's deal is. You're inside of the reload zone. Let's look at Rapid Pulse. Actually, you're below the reload zone. Hopefully, took some profits at the run up here. Be below the 78.6 level. Can do a volume analysis. This is very short time frames, pretty new. We're below that, so we won't get the most accurate things. We can then look at the RSI. Not printed yet, so we need to go to lower time frames, which is still chilling here in the middle of the momentum area. It's like at 48, so not really. I should really change this because you guys probably can't even see that. I don't know why they make it a purple line in the back screen like that, so that's probably easier to see for you guys. Oh, could we look at courage as well? Hopefully I've not missed anything. So courage was created by a Granny community member. You can stake this to earn 1,000,000, to be part of a pool to earn 1,000,000 grand token or Granny token. These are lower highs, right, on the hourly. If we go to the RSI, so that's the opposite of a W, which is called an M. Very high on the RSI. Change that again. Very high on the RSI, but this is once again very short time frame, pretty hard to say. This isn't the only liquidity pool. Point of control here at 0.0026. Maybe take some profits if you are up to X. You can always rebuy when it gets a little bit lower. And if you've sold only 50% of your bag, you can let the rest run. Maybe it even takes you a little bit higher. Very hard to say if it's finished here. Remember, meme coins generally have a very short lifespan. And there some don't. Some, like Teddy Bear, have a lot of hype behind it. But we hope that these things, Courage and Granny, still do well. I still think it has a lot more in the tank. The community continues to grow. It's pretty much a finished product. We've got it listed on PTS. Lots of cool influencers are part of it. Could we look at PTS with BTC if we have time? And WPTS, yeah. Let me finish with those two. PTS, let's switch to Rapid Pulse. I sacrificed for this. Sold my double. Very, very oversold. Hopefully they get out more utility for this coin. I think I actually rebought this and I'm very underwater now, but that's fine. I risked a very small percentage of my portfolio, not even bother to look at the chart, right? Twitter will tell me if it pumps, and then I'll see if I'm in a double on my pulse, and then I'll take those profits. If the granny wants to rebuy her profits, she can only rebuy 50% of that which she has sold, because she needs to take some profits off the table. And if you're going to rebuy, eventually, every time, eventually you are going to be wrong. So that's just a little bit more risk management. Very low on the daily. We do have bullish divergences forming here as prices going lower, yet the indicators are going higher. I mean, all the way from the start. Maybe we could look at the 8-hour. Also bullish divergence on the 8-hour, but like I always say, this can take a lot of time to play out. I think most of the volume, it's very, very lots of liquidity. I think everything is already on the market, but at the end of the day, they do have a great product. I really think Pitius is really cool, and the devs are awesome. They help you pretty cool, especially if you are a developer yourself. They'll get your coin listed very, very quickly if you ask them. And everybody should be using Pitius.io to get the best order execution on your meme coins. Hopefully, they add limit orders. We really, really need limit orders as granny investors. Really, really, we do. So hopefully they can get that rolled out. Won't be interested in this just yet. We need to get those higher lows forming. And candlesticks, these tails, people are trying to exit this. So it does look like it wants to go a little bit lower. So as soon as we start creating higher lows, nice market structure, and maybe a breakout of that level, that would be your confirmation to go long. Could you look at Teddy Bear Hug Token? So yeah, I mean, someone has been exiting this very much. Let's look at the top traders. So you can see that this is not the developer. This is someone that bought 140 and he sold $400 worth. So they're really punishing this price. It's probably because it wasn't listed with a lot of volume. I think the developer listed it with absolutely nothing. This is why you need to sell your halves on the doubles all the way up, right? Especially on these coins that don't really have liquidity. And we can see all of these guys are buyers and they're... So this is not the developer rug pulling. I was looking at this area wondering why it's gone down that much. Let's look at Rapid Pulse. And it's going to be the same story, right? It came all the way back to this W that formed here. Hopefully it holds here, but if you are interested in this, I mean, it's very, very cheap. All the way down. And these are cells. This doesn't look like a rug pull. Let's look at Rapid BTC before we forget about that. Here we go. Very volatile. I say this every time, and every time I think it's going higher, it just pulls back. Rapid Pulse. I mean, doesn't look bad, but this is the nosebleed section, right? The granny can't chase it up here. She needs to wait for this to come down to the reload zone. And we are not there yet. We can then look at where most of the volume was traded. Boom, all the way down here. But there's a pretty decent volume node here, so we hope we can hold support there. You can see the nice little W's in here, the higher lows. This was your breakout level, so don't be surprised if you come back to retest this level. There are bearish divergences that was here. You can see price going higher. Excuse me, indicator going lower, yet price is going higher. That is the divergence between momentum and price. Meaning momentum kind of ran out while the price went higher. Then you got your rejection. We just need to wait for this to come back, right? We can't get it up here. Then you also said we pulse. And then we'll quickly look at FBI. Most liquidity on V1. 300k market cap. Nice little W down here. I think we talked about this and I said it looked pretty good, right? Let's switch to Rapid Pulse. Maybe my charting is on there. No. So this was your W, your breakout level. You've now broken out. Looks like it wants to retest this breakout level. This is where grannies can take their longs. If we look at the RSI, it is in the reload zone. I can just the RSI is already up here. Still inside of the reload zone, you're chilling above the, or on the 61.8. So the granny can still get some if she is into catching falling knives. Expecting it to go lower, of course. The RSI was nice and low. Not in the extreme sold areas. Can't fault the little old lady if she wanted to put in a little bit here. Don't know the fundamentals. So is there a WPLSX also? There is. Interesting. 2K liquidity. And the chart looks very much the same. Yeah, still chilling on it. There's only 2 buyers today. Very low liquidity, very low lock market cap. It's inside of the reload zone. Chilling about below. Should we look at it versus Pulse X? Looks a lot like the USD value. I mean, we can probably look at the indicators on the RSI to see. Not really in the extreme sold areas. A little bit in no man's land. Maybe we can look at where most of the volume was traded. Lots of accumulation happened down here. People taking profits up here. Hard to say, right? Is there engagement on Twitter? Are there people talking about this? I don't know. But if you believed in it and the granny can't fault you for getting some here, expecting it to go lower, you have no real higher lows just yet. These are still lower highs and lower lows, which defines a downtrend. Not really broken the downtrend yet. Generally, you want to see W's on the other side of the downtrend. Almost daily Twitter spaces, community building, event shopping. Yeah, so if you believed in it, it is in value. You're not buying the top, you're not buying the nosebleed section. And then the last one, we'll look at FBI. FOMO buying investigators. If I thought I was killing the price, looks like a slow rug to me. You're all the way back inside of the... Oof, that's harsh. It looks like bear hug. Let's look at the top traders. So he hasn't bought any coins, which is a little bit concerning, which could be the developers and insiders, these top guys. It could also be that they were transferring coins from other wallets. I'm not quite sure how that works, but I would like to see that they at least bought some of this coin. Otherwise, they pre-minted it and they're just selling it, or they transferred it from other. Liquidity is gone. The RSI looks probably... yeah, this is very risky here. I mean, you're starting to form some higher lows, but if the confidence has left this market, we talked about it back here, right? In this area. And I see we pointed out divergences here. So if you were selling up here, I mean, you're up 100%, right? So while I might have been bearish here, and I remember saying, because Marco was talking about this, that yeah, if you took off 50% here, and I know Marco participated early, he could have sold 50%, and this would have given him another double and another 50%. You've got 3 positions in this coin, and now the rebuy would have been pretty sucky because this continued to go down. Yeah, so people might have lost. Is there no sound? Oh. No, it's cool. Yeah, so it sucks that people think that this might be a rug pull. People are still buying this. There's 24K buying liquidity and 24K selling. Pretty the same amount of sellers, so the sellers have a lot of bags. But you would have to go do some chain analysis on where these guys got their bags. I'm not going to do that now because I'm going to make mistakes. You need to see where these guys got their bags, and if they pre-minted it, then they're selling on top of people's heads. I will. For you, I will do TH quickly. THRH. 20% buy tax, so you need to put that into consideration. This is now the opposite of a W, so it looks like it still wants to do a little bit more downside. My voicemail is calling me now, so a little bit irritating. Still, you're in value. I just don't like the large taxes. I can't. Wow. Why such a large sell volume? 9K sell volume. They shouldn't have made a Binance chain fork of this. I don't think they should. They should have stuck with Pulse Chain. They've got a nice looking website, a nice ecosystem. It looks like. Yeah, I don't want to. What was thinking quant on Pulse Chain? What did I miss? Because QNT. Anyway, clarify, Jerry, your quant on Pulse Chain message. Yeah, it doesn't mean it can't go higher if you like it. It's still in the reload zone. You're gonna pay a 30% tax on the buy and the exit, but you're still in the reload zone. So we're considering the buy and the sell. It's just gonna be in these areas up here. And then I'll look at burn for you, but then I'm done here for today. Down pretty hard. You can look at rapid pulse. It's going to look worse here. Down, down, down. 3.5k liquidity, equal buying and selling volume. The RSI, there's no higher lows here yet, so it doesn't really look interesting to me. Still can go lower with the momentum because it's not really in the extreme sold areas just yet, so it can absorb a lot more. Very large inefficiency in this wick here, so don't be surprised if it fills it a little bit more. Yeah, farm it, don't buy it. Unless you start getting higher lows or a nice little W to form. And this is what I'm talking about, right? Rather, it's safer to just wait for a breakout to start chasing these lower lows here. It's a pleasure, dude. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Dewey. I will see you guys in 2 days' time. I'm gonna do these episodes every second day. So do subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoyed this information and you found it helpful. And I will see you guys in the next one. Remember to always play from a position of strength. That is your reload zone. Do not get wrecked. So that means do not risk more than 5% on any which idea. And don't hate these things, don't date these things. Let's just trade them and get more PLS for the upcoming bull market. And let's survive, right? We're still in the accumulation phase. Many will call this the bear market. But the bear market ended when the low was in BTC. Okay. There's still a lot of time left. So play it slow and play it safe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers for now. Bye-bye.